Powerful people don't connect with noise, desperation, or surface confidence. They connect with presence, control, value, and calm strength. They don't move toward those who chase them, explain themselves too much, or try to impress them with words. They notice energy before they notice talent. They feel intention before they hear ambition. They sense weakness before they see skill. Real power never responds to pressure. It responds to stability. It responds to discipline. It responds to quiet confidence and inner control. If your mind is chaotic, your life disorganized, your emotions reactive, and your identity dependent on approval, powerful people will see it instantly, even if you smile, even if you dress well, even if you speak confidently. Connection with power is not built through begging, copying, or chasing. It is built through becoming solid inside, controlled in behavior, clear in purpose, and calm in presence. The world of influence is not loud, emotional, or dramatic. It is structured, patient, and strategic. People at the top don't look for entertainment. They look for stability. They don't look for followers. They look for value. They don't look for talkers. They look for people who move with intention. This is where real connection begins. Not with who you know, but with who you are when no one is watching. Not with attention, but with substance. Not with visibility, but with value. When your mind becomes disciplined, your behavior becomes controlled, your life becomes structured, and your energy becomes calm. Powerful people don't feel threatened by you, and they don't feel pressured by you. They feel safe around you. They feel grounded near you. They feel clarity in your presence. And that is how doors open without asking, access forms without begging, and connections grow without force. This is not about pretending to be powerful. This is about becoming solid enough that power naturally recognizes you. Become valuable before becoming visible. That is the rule that decides who rises and who stays invisible forever. Power does not respond to noise, attention, or desperation. Power responds to usefulness. Powerful people are surrounded by voices, requests, praise, and fake respect every day. They hear compliments constantly. They receive messages constantly. They are approached constantly. Most of those people are ignored, not because they are bad people, but because they offer nothing that matters. Influence does not move toward admiration. It moves toward value. Real connection begins long. It begins in private discipline, in silent work, in skill building, in self-control, in learning how to think clearly under pressure, and in becoming reliable when things are unstable. A person who cannot manage their own life cannot be trusted with proximity to power. A person who cannot create results cannot hold space around high-level people. This is not cruelty. This is reality. Those at the top live in environments where every mistake costs money, reputation, time, and trust. They do not gamble their circle on potential. They choose proven value. Value is not loud. It is quiet and effective. It is the person who solves problems without being asked. It is the one who makes situations easier, not heavier. It is the one who brings calm into chaos. It is the one who understands systems, timing, and responsibility. When you become that person, you do not need to chase access. Access comes toward you. Doors open without force. Invitations come without begging. Respect forms without explanation. Many people want to be seen before they are ready. They want recognition before results. They want proximity before proof. That mindset creates weakness. It creates neediness. It creates dependency on attention. Powerful people sense that instantly. Need drains energy. Stability attracts it. Confidence that comes from competence feels different. It does not rush. It does not push. It does not perform. It moves with calm certainty. Becoming valuable means mastering something useful, not something trendy, not something loud, something that creates real outcomes. communication, strategy, operations, problem-solving, leadership, discipline, emotional control, structure, planning, negotiation, logistics, systems thinking, consistency, reliability. These are invisible skills that powerful people depend on. These are the traits that build trust without speeches. It also means emotional maturity. Powerful environments are full of pressure. Ego, drama, insecurity, competition, fear, and conflict live there every day. A person who reacts emotionally becomes a liability. A person who stays grounded becomes an asset. Calm is rare. Stability is rare. Self-control is rare. When you carry these qualities, you stand out without speaking. Do not rush into rooms where you have nothing to offer. That creates a weak position. You become a consumer of attention instead of a contributor of value. You become another name instead of a presence. But when you build something solid within yourself, your presence changes the energy of a room. People feel it before they understand it. Your posture changes, your voice changes, your timing changes. Your words become fewer and work in silence, build in private, learn in isolation, train when no one is watching, grow without announcing it. Improvement that is loud is often shallow. Improvement that is quiet is usually deep. When your skills are real, you do not need to advertise them. Results speak for you. Behavior speaks for you. Consistency speaks for you. Visibility without value creates exposure. Exposure without strength creates vulnerability. But value creates protection. Value creates leverage. Value creates security. People protect what they depend on. They invest in what helps them win. They connect with what strengthens their position. This is not personal. This is strategic reality. Powerful people do not build relationships based on emotion. They build them based on reliability, competence, trust, and results. When you become useful in real ways, you become remembered. When you become reliable, you become respected. When you become effective, you become necessary. Your goal is not to be liked. Your goal is to be solid. Your goal is not attention. Your goal is impact. Your goal is not access. Your goal is value creation. Because once value exists, access follows naturally. Respect follows naturally. Connection follows naturally. Influence follows naturally. Do not rush the process. Power recognizes patience. It recognizes discipline. It recognizes restraint. A person who can wait, build, prepare, and improve without external validation becomes dangerous in the best sense of the word. Not harmful, but when you walk into a space as someone who has already built value, you are not seeking approval. You are offering strength. You are not asking for space. You are bringing stability. You are not chasing attention. You are attracting interest. This is how real connections begin. Not through introductions, not through networking, not through status games, not through name dropping, not through visibility, but through value. Become strong in private. Become useful in silence. Become disciplined without applause. Become skilled without attention. Become stable without support. Become reliable without reward. Then when you step into higher circles, you will not feel small. You will not feel insecure. You will not feel out of place. You will feel prepared. You will feel grounded. You will feel calm. You will belong there because you earned it. Power does not rise to meet ambition. It aligns with value. Build that first, and everything else follows. Approach through utility, not desire. This is where most people fail without realizing it. They approach powerful people with hunger in their eyes. They carry need in their voice. They speak with hidden expectations. They want opportunities, access, validation, attention, shortcuts, recognition, or protection. That energy is felt immediately. It creates pressure. It creates discomfort. It creates distance. Power does not move toward need. It moves away from it. Desire makes people careless. It makes them talk too much. It makes them overshare. It makes them rush trust. It makes them reveal intentions too early. It makes them emotionally invested in outcomes they do not control. That creates imbalance. When you approach someone powerful with desire, you put yourself beneath them before the relationship even begins. You frame yourself as someone who wants something, not someone who offers something. Utility changes everything. Utility is calm. Utility is grounded. Utility has no rush. Utility has no emotional pull. Utility simply exists. It says, I bring something that improves your world. Not through words, but through presence, behavior, and results. Utility does not beg for relevance, it creates relevance. People in power are trained by experience to detect intention. They know when someone wants something. They feel it in tone, timing, body language, and conversation patterns. The moment they sense desire, their guard rises. Their openness drops, their trust, not because they are cruel, but because they are constantly targeted by people who want something from them. When you approach through utility, there is no pressure, there is no emotional charge, there is no hidden agenda energy. There is no chasing, there is no need to impress. You are not there to extract. You are there to contribute. That creates psychological safety. Safety creates openness. Openness creates connection. People who approach through desire try to sell themselves. People who approach through utility make themselves useful naturally. They solve problems quietly. They help without announcements. They support without credit seeking. They add value without visibility hunger. They become part of the structure instead of a distraction to it. Utility does not mean servitude. It means relevance. It means strength. It means capability. It means competence. It means reliability. It means consistency. It means being someone who improves systems, not someone who drains them. Desire is emotional. Utility is strategic. Desire is impulsive. Utility is patient. Desire wants fast results. Utility builds slow trust. Desire seeks validation. Utility creates respect. Desire chases moments. Utility builds position. When you walk into a room wanting something, your energy leaks need. Your posture changes. Your voice changes. Your behavior changes. You start adapting instead of standing. You start pleasing instead of grounding. You start reacting instead of observing. This makes you predictable and easy to read. Utility keeps you centered. You are not there to be accepted. You are there to be useful. You are not trying to be impressive. You are trying to be effective. You are not seeking approval. You're building trust. Powerful people trust what helps them move forward. They trust what reduces risk. They trust what brings stability. They trust what produces results. They trust what shows discipline. They trust what shows control. They trust what shows consistency. When someone helps their world function better, that person becomes valuable. When someone makes their life easier, that person becomes remembered. When someone reduces pressure, that person becomes respected. When someone creates solutions, that person becomes important. Utility is not loud, it is subtle, it is consistent, it is quiet, it is dependable. It is stable, it does not demand attention, it earns attention naturally. You do not approach with requests, you approach with presence. You do not approach with needs. You approach with competence. You do not approach with desire, you approach with control. This changes the entire dynamic. You are no longer a seeker, you become a contributor. You are no longer asking for space, you become part of the structure. You are no longer chasing connection. You become connect. People who operate in utility never rush relationships. They allow time to work. They allow trust to form naturally. They allow consistency to speak. They allow behavior to build credibility. They allow presence to create familiarity. This is why silence is powerful. Silence allows observation. Silence allows understanding. Silence allows calibration. Silence allows strategy. Silence allows patience. People who talk too much reveal too much. People who rush reveal weakness. People who overshare expose their intentions. Utility-based connection is slow, steady, and stable. It grows through small interactions, through reliability, through presence, through repeated value, through consistent behavior, through calm professionalism, through emotional discipline. The strongest connections in power spaces are not emotional bonds. They are trust bonds. They are reliability bonds. They are competence bonds. They are performance bonds. They are stability bonds. When someone knows you will not create chaos, you become safe. When someone knows you will not create problems, you become trusted. When someone knows you will not leak information, you become respected. When someone knows you will not betray, you become protected. Utility creates protection. Do not approach with hunger. Hunger makes you visible for the wrong reasons. Approach with strength. Strength makes you respected. Do not approach with need. Need makes you replaceable. Approach with value. Value makes you necessary. This is how real social climbing works. Not through climbing over people, but through becoming someone people want near them. Not through manipulation, but through contribution. Not through chasing power, but through becoming useful to power. Your presence should feel calm, not demanding. Your energy should feel grounded, not urgent. Your behavior should feel stable, not reactive. Your role should feel helpful, not heavy. When you master this, connections stop feeling forced. Conversations stop feeling tense. Interactions stop feeling one-sided. Relationships stop feeling fragile. You are no longer trying to get in. You are building something that belongs. Utility is the language of power. Speak that language and doors open without knocking. Study power structures first, because walking into power blind is the fastest way to become invisible or disposable. Most people try to connect with powerful people without understanding the system they live in. They focus on faces instead of structure. They chase individuals instead of understanding the network. They look at titles instead of influence. They confuse visibility with authority. This is why they fail before they even begin. Power is never random. It is organized. It is layered. It is ranked. It is distributed through systems, not just people. Every powerful environment has silent rules, invisible hierarchies, and unspoken chains of control. Some people look important but have no real influence. Some people stay quiet but control outcomes. Some people appear central but are replaceable. Some people stay in the background but move decisions. If you don't understand this, you move wrong, you speak wrong, you align wrong, you trust wrong. You invest in the wrong relationships. You attach yourself to weak nodes instead of strong ones. You build proximity instead of position. Power structures decide who rises and who disappears. They decide who gets protected and who gets exposed. They decide who gets access and who gets blocked. They decide who is heard and who is ignored. Most people see power as a person. That's the mistake. Power is a system. A system of influence, control, loyalty, leverage, reputation, money, and access. People are only parts of that system. When you study power structures, you stop guessing, you stop assuming, you stop chasing noise. You stop being impressed by surface-level status. You start seeing patterns. You start noticing who everyone listens to. You start noticing who makes decisions. You start noticing who gets protected. You start noticing who gets information first. You start noticing who others defer to without being told. You learn who controls resources, who controls opportunities, who controls access, who controls narrative, who controls reputation, who controls direction. This changes how you move. You stop wasting energy on low-impact connections. You stop trying to impress the wrong people. You stop aligning with weak influence. You stop attaching yourself to. You begin moving with awareness. You choose where to stand. You choose who to respect. You choose who to learn from, you choose who to support, you choose who to stay distant from. Power structures are built on leverage. Someone always depends on someone else. Someone always needs something. Someone always controls something. Someone always manages something. Someone always decides something. When you understand this, you stop seeing people as individuals and start seeing them as positions in a system. That clarity changes everything. You stop being emotional about people. You become strategic about roles. You stop personalizing interactions. You start understanding functions. You stop reacting to personalities. You start reading positions. This gives you calm, it gives you control, it gives you patience, it gives you direction. People who don't study structures move randomly. They connect randomly. They trust randomly. They speak randomly. They act randomly, their growth becomes random, their outcomes become unstable. People who understand structures move with intention, their actions align, their relationships make sense. Their positioning is clean, their progress is steady. Studying power structures means watching behavior, not words. Titles lie, promises lie, claims lie. Behavior reveals everything: who gets obeyed, who gets copied, who gets protected, who gets backed, who gets defended, who gets forgiven, who gets resources, who gets loyalty. These signals show you don't need access to understand this. You need observation, you need patience, you need silence, you need awareness, you need discipline. Power structures reveal themselves to those who don't rush. This knowledge protects you. It stops you from attaching yourself to falling systems. It stops you from trusting unstable figures. It stops you from building on weak foundations. It also gives you leverage, because when you understand structure, you know where value is needed. You know where gaps exist, you know where problems sit, you know where pressure builds, you know where support matters. You stop offering random value, you start offering targeted value, you stop helping blindly, you start helping strategically. This makes your presence more powerful without you being loud. You become relevant to the system, not just to individuals. That's how real influence is built, not through popularity, not through charm, not through attention, but through positioning. When you understand the structure, you know how to move without being seen as a threat. You know how to grow without triggering resistance. You know how to rise without creating enemies. You know how to build without attracting unnecessary attention. You become smooth, you become controlled, you become calm, you become precise. Power respects those who understand systems because they are predictable in a good way. They are stable, they are strategic, they are disciplined. This is how you stop being reactive and start being intentional. This is how you stop chasing and start positioning. This is how you stop depending on luck and start building control. Control your image relentlessly, because in power spaces, perception becomes reality faster than truth ever does. People don't study your intentions, your struggles, or your effort. They read your presence, they judge your energy. They measure your discipline, they feel your confidence, they notice your silence, they sense your stability. Before anyone knows who you really are, they already decide what you are. This is not about pretending, this is about precision. This is about understanding that everything you show teaches people how to treat you. The way you speak teaches people your value. The way you react teaches people your emotional level. The way you move teaches people your status. The way you respond teaches people your boundaries. The way you present yourself teaches people your position. Powerful people don't look for explanations. They read signals. They read tone. They read behavior. They read consistency. They read presence. They read calm. They read self-control. They read confidence without noise. Your image is not your clothes. Your image is not your posts. Your image is not your words alone. Your image is how safe you feel in your own skin. Your image is how grounded you are under pressure. Your image is how you handle disrespect. Your image is how you handle praise. Your image is how you carry silence. Your image is how you handle success. Your image is how you handle loss. People trust stability, they respect control, they follow consistency, they align with discipline, they protect predictability. If your emotions are loud, your image becomes weak. If your reactions are fast, your image becomes unstable. If your words are careless, your image becomes cheap. If your energy is scattered, your image becomes unclear. This is why image control is not about acting. It is about mastering yourself. It is about emotional discipline. It is about mental structure. It is about internal order. It is about knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. It is about knowing when to respond and when to ignore. It is about knowing when to engage and when to detach. When you control your image, you control access, you control how people approach you. You control how people speak to you. You control how people treat you. You control how people value you. You stop being easy to read. You stop being easy to manipulate. You stop being easy to provoke. You stop being easy to pressure. People feel that control even if they can't explain it. A calm presence creates authority. A stable tone creates trust. A grounded energy creates respect. A controlled reaction creates power. This is how you become untouchable without being aggressive. This is how you become respected without demanding respect. This is how you become powerful without seeking attention. Your image must match the future you want, not the past you came from. You don't carry old habits into higher spaces. You don't bring old behaviors into new levels. You don't carry old reactions into new rooms. Every level requires a new version of you. Control means discipline. Discipline in speech, discipline in behavior, discipline in emotion. Discipline in presence, discipline in energy, discipline in response. You don't overshare, you don't over-explain, you don't overreact. You don't overcommit, you don't overpromise, you don't overexpress. You become clean, you become simple, you become steady, you become calm. This creates mystery without trying. This creates respect without force. This creates authority without noise. People begin to project value onto you because you don't project need onto them. They feel your control, they feel your boundaries, they feel your self-respect. They feel your independence. They feel your stability. This makes them careful with you. This makes them thoughtful with you. This makes them respectful with you. This makes them strategic with you. Image control also protects you. It protects your reputation. It protects your position. It protects your access. It protects your future. One careless moment can destroy years of work. One emotional reaction can damage your credibility. One unstable move can change how people see you forever. So you move slowly, you move intentionally, you move with awareness. You don't give people chaos, you don't give people confusion, you don't give people instability. You give people consistency, you give people calm, you give people clarity, you give people control. That makes you safe to align with, that makes you reliable, that makes you valuable. People in power choose stability over talent. They choose discipline over charm. They choose control over confidence. They choose consistency over charisma because stability scales. When you control your image, you don't need to convince anyone of your value. They feel it, they see it, they sense it, they respect it. You don't need to explain who you are. Your presence explains it. And when your presence becomes your proof, you stop chasing validation and start attracting alignment. Never look needy, because need changes the balance of every relationship before a single word is spoken. The moment someone feels that you want something from them more than they want anything from you, the power shifts. Not slowly, not gently, instantly. They may stay polite, they may stay friendly, they may even stay helpful. But inside, the hierarchy changes. You move down, they move up. Need shows in small ways, in your tone, in your speed, in your reactions, in your urgency, in your energy, in how fast you respond, in how much you explain, in how much you agree, in how often you seek validation, in how easily you adjust yourself to fit them. Powerful people don't need to dominate you. They just need to sense dependence. Once they feel it, they unconsciously lead, they decide the pace, they control the space. They define the terms, they set the limits, they shape the interaction. This is not about becoming cold, this is not about becoming distant, this is about becoming whole. This is about not making other people your emotional supply, your mental support, your social validation, or your sense of worth. People can feel when you don't need them, not in an arrogant way, in a grounded way, in a stable way, in a calm way, in a self-contained way. That feeling changes how they... Neediness creates pressure. Pressure creates discomfort. Discomfort creates distance. Distance creates disrespect. Calm creates safety. Safety creates trust. Trust creates value. Value creates connection. When you don't look needy, you become selective. You become intentional. You become patient. You become slow in your movements. You become thoughtful in your words. You become clear in your boundaries. You stop chasing conversations. You stop forcing connections. You stop trying to impress. You stop trying to be seen. And you stop trying to be liked. Because scarcity creates value, not artificial scarcity, real scarcity, the kind that comes from self-respect, the kind that comes from a full life, the kind that comes from purpose, the kind that comes from discipline, the kind that comes from structure, the kind that comes from internal stability. When your life is full, your energy is different. You don't rush, you don't cling, you don't attach quickly, you don't overinvest early, you don't build fantasies around people you barely know. You stay present, you stay grounded, you stay aware. This makes you safe, this makes you stable, this makes you respected. Needy energy feels chaotic, calm energy feels powerful. You don't need to prove your worth, you don't need to convince anyone of your value. You don't need to sell yourself, you don't need to advertise your potential. You don't need to perform for attention. Your discipline becomes your signal, your structure becomes your message, your consistency becomes your proof. You still connect, you still build relationships, you still create bonds, but you do it from strength, not hunger, from stability, not lack, from purpose, not emptiness. You give, but you don't drain yourself. You care, but you don't collapse into people. You support, but you don't disappear for them. You show up, but you don't lose yourself. Balanced energy builds strong connections. Imbalanced energy creates weak attachments. When you don't look needy, people feel free around you. They don't feel pressure. They don't feel obligation. They don't feel emotional debt. They don't feel trapped. And when people choose you, instead of feeling forced into you, the connection becomes real. It becomes stable, it becomes clean, it becomes strong. Powerful people avoid emotional burden, they avoid pressure energy, they avoid unstable attachment, they avoid dependency patterns.